Coming up on Nittany Game Week.
Now I have to be real deliberate in where I go. You know, I like to take a Sunday trip to Sam's Club, and now I got a plan for an extra half an hour to go to Sam's Club.
Associate head coach Terry Smith no longer flies under the radar at Penn State. What excites him about working with new head coach Matt Campbell and a new set of assistant coaches?
What we're trying to do here is be one of the blue bloods of college lacrosse.
Women's lacrosse is under new leadership. The characteristics that Coach Treanor values in her players and what she thinks will make the program improve rapidly. And Coach Pavlik hits another career milestone where he ranks on the all-time wins list across all college divisions for men's volleyball. It's time for Nittany Game Week.
Gavin will continue to participate in all athletically related activities. But regarding that, it's also, I hope you understand, it's an ongoing legal thing, so inappropriate for me to comment further on that.
The men's hockey coach Guy Godowski clears up any speculation right away. Freshman Gavin McKenna is with the team, will not miss any time or face any disciplinary action from the school or Big Ten as he awaits a preliminary hearing on a misdemeanor assault charge. The hearing has been pushed back until March 11th. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nittany Game Week. I'm Todd Sadowski alongside Ryan Yee. A couple of monster matchups this weekend for a pair of Penn State programs with championship aspirations.
Yeah, that's right, Todd. It's Valentine's Day weekend. Not many pleasantries exchanged when the number 1 Nittany Lions hit the mat with number 2 Ohio State. And the 6th-ranked men's hockey team takes the ice in Ann Arbor to face the 2nd-ranked Wolverines.
We're going to have complete recaps coming up in our next episode. This week, we feature a new head coach for women's lacrosse and go one-on-one with some of the new assistant coaches on the football staff.
Yeah, we start with the men's hockey team, though, who are ready for the Big Ten Conference stretch run.
Somewhat lost in all of the publicity surrounding the outdoor hockey game versus Michigan State is the weekend's result against the Spartans, set back in Game 1 in regulation, then the heartbreaking overtime defeat in the stadium. That's 0 wins and 4 tries versus MSU, who was ranked number 1. Penn State 18-8 overall coming into this weekend, 1-5 against Michigan and Michigan State, 17-3 against everyone else. They know they're right up there with the elite teams and poised for good results in the Final 4 series of the regular season.
From wins and losses, we've been taking lessons that we have to implement in our game if we want to be successful. And we've been doing a great job with that. The young guys have been doing a great job with that. And, you know, Reese in our leadership group has done a great job instilling our core values to what we want to play at and what our standard is. So I think ever since the second half, we've kind of put our best foot forward, and we want to go on a roll here.
Like you said, it was such a high going into that game, so much build-up for it that it took a little bit to come down from. But like you said, we had that bye week. We were able to get back to practicing and get back to being focused on our goal, which is still keep winning games and then make a run here at the end.
And after this weekend series with Michigan on the road, the Nittany Lions host Ohio State for a pair on February 20th and 21st. Their final 2 conference games away from Pagula are the last weekend of the month at Notre Dame. And then they conclude the regular season at home with Wisconsin the first weekend of March. Now, the men's basketball team makes their first ever road trip to Seattle. Freshman Caden Mingo shows off his array of skills first. The vision, drives baseline, drops it to a cutting Josh Reed for an easy 2. It is a smooth move past the defender, and then he spots Reed for the bucket down low. Next possession, it's going to be Mingo with a quick burst to beat his man off the dribble and then drops in the floater for a pair of his 13 points on the night. Up 3 with a scare on the final shot of this one. It's a little short from the Huskies, and the Nittany Lions notched their first Big Ten Conference road win of the season, 63-60 over Washington. And after that Washington game, the team stays out west to face Oregon on Valentine's Day before returning home to host Rutgers on Wednesday, the 18th.
Yeah, and speaking of home games, the women's lacrosse team is in action for the first time in front of their fans. Campus debut for new head coach Kayla Treanor. Still a tad chilly outside, so women's lax in Haluba Hall for their opener against UMass. A lot of hype surrounding this team, ranked 23rd going into the season with a handful of big names to look out for. And those big names make an impact early. Tewaaraton watch lister Erica Ho swings it to Maddie Greco Marco, who finds Anna Salerno in the dangerous area. The graduate student converts. Penn State draws blood first, and that kickstarts a dominant first quarter that ended 6-0 in favor of the Nittany Lions. Jump ahead to the second quarter. PSU picks off where they left off. Ho at the top, step inside, passes to Emma Kelly, who weaves in traffic and scores a beauty right there to push it to 7-0. UMass, however, does not go down without a fight. A 5-goal third quarter makes it 13-6, but Delaney Radin responds with a rifle of a shot from the left. The goal pushes it back to an 8-point lead. Wouldn't get any closer than that, and Penn State wins their home opener 2-0 to start the season with a whole lot of expectation.
To turn around and play a really good UMass team and to have the performance we did, I thought that was awesome. So we had a great first half. We let up a little bit in the second half, but overall it was a great day for us.
We just feel like such a different energy this year. Like, we want it so bad, and I think that's what makes it so much fun playing out here at Volleyball. I mean, a successful 2026 season is coming out, winning Big Tens, winning a national championship. Like, our goal at the end of the year, without a doubt, is going deep into May, and that's all we really want, just taking it one game at a time.
A great start for Coach Treanor and her team. Career win number 61 is her first in Happy Valley. Just ahead, we learn more about the 10th Penn State women's lacrosse head coach in program history and how her team is completely bought into her vision of making the Nittany Lions a blue blood in the sport. And while Coach Treanor is starting her time in Happy Valley, Mark Pavlik is currently in his 32nd and final year as the men's volleyball head coach. He reaches a career milestone with his 700th win last weekend. The Nittany Lions swept St. Francis on the road to get Pavlik to an unreal number of victories. He's now only the 4th men's volleyball coach across all divisions of college competition to reach number 700. PSU is at Princeton for a pair of matches this weekend. New football coach Matt Campbell will search for his first Penn State victory in the late summer. What he says about holding a blue-white game this spring coming up. More Nittany Game Week is on the way.
The opening drive is sponsored by R&R Express. Every shipment moved contributes to autism research and inclusion through the Excel Foundation. Learn more at wearerr.com. Nittany Game Week is brought to you by West Shore Home, official partner of Penn State football.
Welcome back to Nittany Game Week. From college and professional star to international phenom to now a marquee women's lacrosse coach that is tasked with leading the Nittany Lions. Kayla Treanor's resume is impressive. She now hopes to add to that impressive resume in Happy Valley, which she says begins with a goal of making Penn State one of the blue bloods in college lacrosse. New coach, new expectations.
We're focused on this team, and we want to be a tough team. We want to compete in every game that we're in, and I think what we're trying to do here is be one of the blue bloods of college lacrosse.
It's a high standard that new Penn State women's lacrosse head coach Kayla Treanor sets for her program. A Nittany Lions team that has quickly racked up 2 wins to kick off her first season at the helm. The elite player turned head coach has no shortage of accolades. Her resume speaks for itself. A 4-time first-team All-American, 3-time Tewaaraton Award finalist, and 2-time international gold medalist as a player, plus back-to-back national semifinal appearances as a head coach. She's proof that the sky really is the limit no matter where she goes.
Something that I always lean back on is, as a player, what is most helpful for me, and how was I successful? And I try to give that gift of knowledge to all the players. I want to help them become elite, and we've got great kids here, and like you said, they are bought in, and that's just been the best part about coaching here. So proud of these guys and just love working with them.
You combine that stellar collegiate, professional, and international career with what she accomplished in her first head coaching gig at Syracuse. Her players are completely bought in.
She is just an incredible coach, incredible player. I used to always watch her when I was growing up and was always a fangirl of hers. So her being my coach is just such an incredible honor. And she does so much for the program. It's such a culture change. And honestly, the entire staff is just awesome. We're just one big happy family.
As soon as I came in and was under her, I learned more than I've ever learned in my entire life. So I'm just so grateful.
A perfect blend of Treanor's experience with players who love their new leader that they hope will take the program to new heights.
We're gonna, play an exciting brand of lacrosse. Like, you're gonna come here and enjoy the game, and our kids are gonna give everything they have, and come and be a part of a great atmosphere and continue to support us. We really appreciate it.
Well, you can forgive head football coach Matt Campbell if his head is still spinning a bit. After he accepts the position at Penn State, he's had to wrap things up at Iowa State, get to know the PSU players, figure out how to fill the roster through the transfer portal, hire his new staff, and recruit on the road. And he's just now getting a chance to take a breath and settle in a bit in State College. Coach says his family is with him and they are actually in a house, so he feels like a normal human being again. But it's not long before he's fielding questions about what's next, and that includes the annual Blue-White Spring Game. His preference at ISU was to make the 15th and final spring practice private and not a public setting. He seems to understand the importance and magnitude of the spring game at PSU and acknowledges the idea for this year is a work in progress.
I think it's really important for our kids to be in that stadium with our fans. I don't want the first time the Rocco Beck to throw a pass is his first game in there with fans. I think it's really important for this team to be able to get out there. And again, we've got a lot of guys coming off of injury, and so what does that look like? How do we go practice? But I think for our fan base to see us on that field and for us to be able to be out in that stadium with our fans, I think before we play a game is absolutely critically important.
Keep the calendar open. It's typically mid-April. We'll pass along the details when they are announced. Up next, we stick with football for our Impact interviews. We had a chance to speak with many of the new assistant coaches, the impact they hope to make on Penn State's players and community. Nittany Game Week returns after this.
Impact Interview is sponsored by the Pocono Mountains, where small-town charm meets big adventures. Book your trip today by visiting PoconoMountains.com.
We are back on Nittany Game Week. There are a few returning coaches to the football staff, but only because they embody the qualities and character Matt Campbell identifies and appreciates. The impact of an assistant football coach can be profound on the program and the players. For this week's Impact interviews, we highlight a few of our one-on-one conversations with the assistants. How has your life changed since this past year as far as the amount of people that have reached out to you and just in general, who you've been in touch with?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster ride. You come into the season with high expectations and all that happened and in the season on a high note. Just about every Penn State alumni that I know and friend of the family has reached out to me, and it's been really, really exciting. It's been a great journey. Learned a ton, and just anxious to get back at it and start coaching up a new group of guys.
You mentioned during the run that you couldn't go around town without everybody stopping you. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I can't hide in plain sight no more. So now I have to be real deliberate in where I go. I like to take a Sunday trip to Sam's Club, and now I got a plan for an extra half an hour to go to Sam's Club.
Well, I'm sure it's time well allotted, right? From the Pinstripe Bowl to now, what have things been like for you? How much you've been on the road, who you've been talking to player-wise, retained a lot of the guys, and the meshing with the Iowa State staff and everybody else. What's that experience been like for you?
Yeah, I've been on the road for the last 2.5 weeks. That's been a grind with the weather last week, a lot of flight cancellations and things like that, just adapting, trying to get the 27 class and early on the 28 class going. And in the meantime of that, just trying to get my cornerback room back to order. Was able to keep the top guys there, added a couple guys to it, and now just trying to build the chemistry back and build the camaraderie of one.
Yeah, a lot of people said Coach Campbell's a great fit, which means a lot of the guys that he was coaching at Iowa State should be a good fit too. Is that what you're experiencing? And do you think the Iowa State guys and Penn State guys are going to mesh together really well and work together?
Yeah, absolutely. We're a blended family. His core values, Coach Campbell's core values, align with how we are here at Penn State. He's a perfect fit. He's about hard work. He's about dedication. He's about the guys in the locker room, and just doing right by those guys. And pull your sleeves up one arm at a time, and come to work every day, and put forth your best effort.
A lot of them have similar characteristics. Has that been kind of neat to see that group, the Iowa State guys with the retained Penn State guys, get together?
For sure. It's been really fun, and I think one of the things that we've emphasized is this is Penn State football, and so those guys need to learn what Penn State football is, and they need to understand where we're at now and build our team in that identity. But yeah, those guys are certainly fit what we're looking for, and I believe the guys we retain from Penn State do as well. And so watching those guys blend together in the locker room and in just their relationships, and obviously once we get into spring ball and winter workouts prior to that, will be enjoyable to watch as well. But I think they've aligned really well.
GM in college football can mean many things to many different programs. But your job is to get them to say yes.
Yeah.
How do you get them to say yes when you're reaching out to players to come here to Happy Valley?
Yeah, I think so much goes into that. I think number one, it's you got to build relationships. They have to have trust and belief that they're going to get developed. They're going to have an opportunity to study what they want to study. They're going to have an opportunity to be surrounded by a coaching staff and a support system that's going to be there for them on good days and bad days. And you got to prove that this is the right fit for a multitude of reasons. And obviously the finances are a part of that, but it's just a part of it. And I still think it is a broader, big picture perspective on proving the holistic experience they'll receive at Penn State is critically important to lay all of those factors out in front of them. And it has been in the last 2 months, and it will be moving forward as well.
The community's kind of small in college football. Do you know anybody that played at Penn State? Do you know people that are here currently? Who did you lean on that may have a Penn State connection that you kind of asked some of those personal questions to with school systems and things of that nature?
Well, Nas Oliver, who works in the recruiting department, was in my wedding. We played high school ball together, and we coached together in high school. So like that, it was an instant connection. So when we got together, that was like, it don't even feel real. You know what I'm saying? Like we go way back 12, 14 years. So, you know, him, and then again, because of my relationship with Nas, he's been able to help me connect the dots. I've always, from afar, had a lot of respect for Coach T. Smith. You know, we've had, you know, some different interactions through recruiting, but now that I got a chance to be here, we've instantly hit it off. So he's been like the OG for me, helping me transition. But like I said, I think that's why this works, because a lot of these coaches on our staff, Coach Broom, they all got young children. So like we're all in this together. So it's not like a foreign deal. You know, Coach Campbell's wife and my wife hit it off, and she's telling my wife the different places to go and things. So like it's been a great community of people, and all of our children are really relatively similar in age. So it hasn't been as bad as you would think. It's been pretty easy, and honestly, we haven't even had to ask. It's kind of just been, you know, insinuated and very helpful.
There's a tradition of running backs here lately. I mean, Nick and Treanor doing their thing. Is that,
right.
How do you utilize that in the recruiting part of things? I know it's a different step, but there's still a mentality to what you do.
I mean, I got a chance to talk to Kajana Carter the other day. We had like an hour and 15-minute conversation, you know, talking about the tradition of Penn State and what it means to be a Penn State man. And so again, I think, you know, there has been a lineage of backs over the course of time, no matter who's been the coach here. So it's just been very humbling to be here. But I think, again, doing my history, doing my research, I think, you know, these young men, we live in a media-driven world that they only know what they see on TV, but giving them the history and tradition of this place way before those guys. But those guys have definitely been the two highlights of this program over the last 4 years, and they've done an unbelievable job. You know, and Treanor is, you know, being the all-time leading rusher, you know, in Penn State history. So I think, you know, they've been, you know, unbelievably coached well and trying to continuously find that. But again, showing these guys in recruiting and even my players the history of what has gone before them, and it's been unique to see even Q and Cam. They've been in the room with those two guys, so they've been able to learn a lot from them, and they've shared their sentiment about that.
The last one for me, you mentioned Kajana. The lettermen are at the ready to do whatever you need to do. Have you discovered that already, or I'm assuming that's what you've heard, is that that strong pride and tradition is here to step in and help?
Yes, absolutely, definitely. Like that's why, you know, we was on the phone for a long time. You know, again, I'm the new person here, so I got to do my research. I got to learn more about this program. I got to learn more about, obviously, everybody knows who Saquon Barkley is, but, you know, the Larry Johnsons and Evan Royces of the world, like really going back, you know, before then and educating myself. But it's been, again, great. You know, he's been great for me. He's like, man, I'm here to help you and be the catalyst to this and any way you need me. You know, so that's been very humbling. And again, man, he's very prideful, but all of them are. You know, all the guys are very prideful of this place. I've gotten multiple text messages from some of my friends who, you know, played here to let me know, hey, man, like, this is my alma mater now. Like, don't screw this up.
Easy to see why the assistant coaches are excited about getting started with PSU. Make sure you go to NittanyGameWeek.com for all of our Impact interviews, along with other web-exclusive content like our Nittany Connect network of businesses. Don't go anywhere. Still to come, a Super Bowl shout-out for a former Nittany Lion. We're heading into the final minutes on Nittany Game Week.
Nittany Game Week is brought to you by West Shore Home, official partner of Penn State football.
Welcome back to Nittany Game Week on football's biggest stage. One of Penn State's very own was front and center. Former Nittany Lion Chris Stoll is the Seattle Seahawks long snapper, and from Happy Valley to now Disney World, Stoll is a Super Bowl champ. The Penn State alum donned the blue and white from 2017 to 2022, the signing with the Seahawks in 2023 as an undrafted rookie. So, of course, to top off this week's list, we need to give a shout out to Chris Stoll. Dean's List, though, also for players that are currently standing out, and we got to give a shout out to a women's lacrosse player we touched on earlier, and that is Erica Ho, who has been named the 2026 Tewaaraton Watch List nominee, the award for the best college lacrosse player in the country. This comes not long being named to the Big Ten Watch List as well. Then to men's hockey, ahead of the big-time matchup against Michigan this weekend, freshman goalie Josh Fleming was named the Hockey Commissioners Association Co-Rookie of the Month. The first-year college goalie led the Big Ten in save percentage and goals against average in January. Congrats to this week's Dean's List honorees.
Thank you, Ryan. We're bringing PSU fans and alumni together with our Nittany Connect network at NittanyGameWeek.com. We partner with businesses that support the show and let our viewers know about their great products and professional services. NittanyGameWeek.com is also where you find all of our web-exclusive content, airtimes for our network of stations, previous episodes, feature stories, and impact interviews can all be found at one convenient location.
Make sure to submit your pride pics as you cheer on the Nittany Lions. You might just see yourself on the program, so make sure you show us your spirit.
For Ryan, I'm Todd. Thanks so much for watching Nittany Game Week. We'll see you next time.